Welcome to the graduation ceremony for graduates of the Faculty of Business and Hotel Management and the Faculty of Education and the Arts. In a few minutes, the graduation ceremony will commence. The procession of staff will enter first. After a brief pause, the university fanfares will announce the entry of the day's party. I will signal to you by this action that you are to rise and remain standing until both the staff procession and the day's party are seated. Please do not stand until I ask you to. May I also remind you that flash photography is prohibited in this auditorium. That's what it says here. For the mutual comfort and enjoyment of all members of the audience, the university does request your cooperation in observing this rule. Thank you.
Deputy Chancellor, Mr. Norm Fussell, fellow members of the Council of Griffith University, Professor Roy Webb, Vice-Chancellor of Griffith University, Mr. Peter Hobart, Chairman of the Advisory Council of the Gold Coast College of Griffith University, Professor Michael Irving, Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Director of the College, other members of the Advisory Council, staff and students of the University, Mr John Bradford, MP, Mr Michael Vivers, MLA, Mr Alex Griffith, Mr Frank Burnett, ladies and gentlemen. It's the custom for Griffith University and its guests to gather to celebrate the conferral of academic awards on its graduates. Whilst these occasions hold special significance for our graduates, their families and friends, they're important also for the entire university community. As Chancellor of Griffith University, it's my pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to everyone present and at the same time to offer congratulations to each of our graduates. They will be proud of their achievements and the university too is proud of them. It is also the custom for Griffith University to bestow its degree of Doctor of the University upon recipients whom it selects for what it regards as a high distinction. Today we honour Mr Alex Griffiths, a dedicated campaigner for the welfare of Queensland's bird life and founder of the world-renowned Currumbin Bird Sanctuary. More will be said about Mr Griffiths in a formal way later in the proceedings. It's with great pleasure that I also welcome our other distinguished guest, Mr Frank Burnett, to today's proceedings. Mr Burnett, Chairman of the Queensland Tourist and Travel Corporation, has long played a leading role in Queensland's business sector, and I know we all look forward to hearing his address. Griffith University has always been a progressive and innovative institution. The recent National Quality Assurance Review ranked Griffith in the first band, confirming it as one of the nation's top universities. That placing, we feel, simply reflects the success which has attended our pursuit of quality and demonstrates the level of our commitment to traditional values as well as to the demands of a changing world. This afternoon's graduation ceremony is one of two such events taking place here today, reflecting the growth of student numbers at the Gold Coast campus, the fastest growing of all our campuses. To meet the demand for additional physical resources, the university has embarked upon a substantial capital works program at the Gold Coast campus. This includes the provision of a new community building, an engineering building and an information services centre. There are also plans to build a new sporting precinct worthy of the college. All these projects are aimed at the delivery of quality across all elements and levels of operation at the university. First-class facilities must be provided at all of the university campuses. Our graduates today have studied in fields which reflect the breadth and diversity of modern university education. Graduates from the Faculty of Education and the Arts will receive their awards, along with graduates from the Faculty of Business and Hotel Management. All are honoured this afternoon. The Faculty of Education and the Arts continues to experience strong demand. There's been an unprecedented number of enrolments in all of the faculty's courses this year. Overseas student enrolments are increasing and the number of postgraduate enrolments has almost doubled in the last 12 months. 2 new undergraduate degrees were offered by the faculty for the first time this year: the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Arts in Communications. The Bachelor of Arts is a special degree course in which students have a particularly wide choice of subjects selected from across the university. The faculty is also currently working on 2 new courses in the Bachelor of Arts Honours program and is in the midst of preparing a new major in film and television journalism for the Bachelor of Arts in Communication degree. This year, the faculty took its first steps into interactive multimedia teaching. A number of subjects for the Bachelor of Education, Primary, were available for the first time on CD-ROM. This allowed students to learn the fundamental concepts of these subjects by working at a computer. Other subjects currently being designed by senior faculty staff members for access on CD-ROM are now nearing completion. The Faculty of Business and Hotel Management has continued with active development of its academic programs in the past year. The faculty now offers a new master's degree in tourism management designed by industry executives to complement the master's degree in hospitality management. A Master in Professional Accounting degree is offered in collaboration with the Faculty of Commerce and Administration, and planning has commenced for a new Bachelor of International Finance with a focus on Asia-Pacific capital markets. You'll be interested to hear that the faculty now offers the first full-time degree program in golf management in Australia. The year past has seen the appointment of 3 foundation chairs designed to provide leadership and vision in the faculty's schools. I return now to the students who, having completed their studies, receive recognition of their awards today. They join an impressive company of Griffith graduates who preceded them and gone on to achieve success and acclaim in their fields. Our new graduates will, I am sure, make an equal contribution. As we continue with today's proceedings, I express warm congratulations to each of them and extend to them my best wishes for their lives ahead. I now call on the Pro-Vice-Chancellor and Director, Gold Coast University College, to present the Director's report on the activities of the campus during the year.
The Chancellor, the Deputy Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Chairperson of the Gold Coast University College Advisory Council, distinguished guests, graduating students, ladies and gentlemen. 1994 has seen the Gold Coast University College of Griffith University continue to expand and consolidate its position as the largest provider of quality tertiary education in this region. In 1994, our total student enrolments were 3,500, with international students constituting approximately 88% of our total load. The campus was significantly over-enrolled in 1994 due primarily to very strong demand for our courses in the faculties of Nursing and Health Sciences and the Faculty of Business and Hotel Management. Our entrance standards were amongst the highest in Queensland, and the entrance requirements for the Bachelor of Arts Psychology was the highest for any psychology program offered at universities in Australia. All faculties established positions for Deputy Deans teaching and learning as part of the university's commitment to quality teaching and learning. Following extensive consultation with the professions and regional community, new programs were offered in 1995, namely the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Health Science, the Bachelor of Exercise Science, the Bachelor of Information Technology, the Bachelor of Arts Communication, and new majors in Ecotourism and Environmental Science within the Bachelor of Science degree. Clearly, these new programs, which I can report have been very warmly received by high-quality students in 1995, are part of our commitment to broadening the high-quality offerings at Griffith University on the Gold Coast. In addition, new postgraduate courses in hotel and tourism management and nursing specialisations were also developed during the year. It was particularly pleasing to note that the 1993 Graduation Destination Survey identified that graduates from the Griffith University Gold Coast campus had a full-time employment rate which was 20% above the national average. The Hotel Management School was again awarded the top industry training prize at the annual Queensland Tourism Awards. The academic profile of the Gold Coast University College came of age in 1994, with all faculties enrolling honours and postgraduate research students. As a result of these activities, the enrolments of our postgraduate research students have more than doubled in 1995, and our first Masters and PhD students will graduate this year. Staff in all faculties won major nationally competitive research grants and consultancies. 6 new professors were appointed in 1994. Professor Lockman Meir accepted the chair in accounting, Professor Drew Nesdale, chair in psychology, Professor Thomas Muller, chair in marketing, Professors Greg Gass and Professor Richard Telford, chairs in exercise science, and Professor Yu Che Lu accepted the chair in civil and construction engineering. In addition, a significant number of additional senior academic appointments were made, and significant numbers of junior academic staff were given grants for time release to enable them to fast-track their research qualifications. A major program of increasing library holdings occurred in 1994. With the assistance of additional funding from the faculties, the Directorate and the Vice-Chancellor, and the Division of Information Sciences, there was a 21% increase in monograph acquisitions and an additional 221 serials were acquired. The Deans of the Gold Coast faculties deserve special mention for contributing more than $250,000 from faculty funds to enhance library holdings. The campus librarians Kathy Griffith resigned her position to accept a position in Brisbane at the end of last year, and the campus is particularly appreciative of her leadership and guidance in establishing quality services. We were, however, most fortunate to obtain the services of Mr Ian Somerville from the State Library of Tasmania as our new campus librarian, and he already has made major new initiatives in terms of consolidating quality services in our library. There were major new initiatives in the area of information technology during the year. In particular, all staff now have access to email and internet. Video conferencing facilities have been installed which enable us to have interactive teaching not only between the Brisbane and the Gold Coast campuses, but more recently in interstate and overseas conferences. And in addition, the computer laboratories have been upgraded and are now amongst the best equipped in Queensland universities. 1994 saw the commencement of the first new building since the amalgamation with Griffith University. The Amenities Building, which is jointly funded by the University and the Student Representative Council, is going to provide state-of-the-art training facilities for hotel management students, including our own training kitchen and own training restaurant, in addition to a large refectory area for the students, together with a student union building, and as well as that, a number of commercial sites. In addition, stage 1 of the engineering building is about to commence, and this is going to be a major benefit to not only to our university but to the Gold Coast community, as there will be state-of-the-art facilities for civil and construction engineering testing. And later this year, stage 1 of the information sciences building will commence. Total expenditure for these 3 projects in 1995 will exceed $14 million. Landscaping around and improvements within the buildings has continued to enhance the campus. As a result of strong local, state and federal representation, the Gold Coast campus was allocated an additional 100 growth places for 1995. It is the view of the Gold Coast campus that a minimum of 250 extra places per year are required for the remainder of this decade if we are going to provide equitable access to tertiary education to the students in this region. Despite continued representation, the state government is not prepared to donate extra land for the expansion of the campus. As the Chancellor indicated, 1994 was an excellent year for Griffith University, in particular being ranked in the top band of Australian universities for quality teaching and learning. This is an important national confirmation of the quality of education at this university. The Gold Coast campus played a significant role in this accreditation, with our business and hotel management faculty being one of 2 faculties in the university which were intensively evaluated by the Quality Assurance Committee. Although the university can be justly proud of these achievements, no university can aspire to these ideals without the commitment to and ownership of quality educational processes by a highly motivated student body. Quality university education is an interactive process between teachers and students where the collective output exceeds the combined input. And I would like to pay special tribute to our graduating students who have so richly contributed to the academic life of our campus and university. From our humble origins in the catacombs of the Surfers Paradise State School, we now have at Parklands a vibrant academic community of higher standards, due largely to the pursuit of excellence by our student body. On behalf of my academic colleagues, I'd like to congratulate you on your achievements and thank you for working with us to ensure that the Gold Coast University College of Griffith University can rightly claim to provide relevant, quality tertiary education of the highest standard to the citizens of the City of the Gold Coast and surrounding regions. I encourage you to keep in contact with your university through the alumni chapter, and I look forward to seeing you all prosper in your chosen careers. Thank you.
I now call on the deans of the respective faculties to present the graduates who are to receive their awards at this ceremony.
Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Business and Hotel Management.
Chancellor, I present to you two graduates who have been granted the Advanced Certificate in Golf Management. Sonia Barrett. John Wilkinson. Chancellor, I present to you the first graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Arts in Applied Psychology, Joanne Wood. Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Hotel Management, Margaret Aikenhead. Lara Anakieth. Angela Birch. Jason Boggs. Rick Chan. Irvina Chandra. Jessica Chen. Kathy Chen. Chang Ju. Su Chung. Frank Clara. Michael Cole. Lisa Cutmore. Robert Dapchek. Tamara Di Giuseppe. Georgina Dearden. Tracy Donaghy. Carla Eggleton. Martine Gauthier. Bruce Holliday. Yu Lai Hughes. Larissa Jukes. Stuart Kiernan. Ji Yon Kim. Wen Yu Lien. Gabrielle Lokapuri. Jason Lund. Timothy McGee. Mohan Anthony Nair. Yi Wu Nam. Alyssa Ninert. Wendy Nessler. Matt Norling. Tanya Palin. Renee Picot. Rodney Plummer. Diane Powell. Heidi Ross. Vicky Salon. Natalie Sayers. Kylie Shelley. Henrietta Shepherd. Alan Simsaka. Francis Smith. Danielle Tolg. Amanda Vero. Yawares Yapawat. David Wilson. Terence Wong. And Roanne Woods. Chancellor, the Medal for Achievement in the Bachelor's Degree course may be awarded annually to the graduate with the highest academic achievement in a Bachelor's Degree course. The medal is not awarded if there is no candidate of sufficient merit. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present to you a graduate who has been granted the Hotel Management Medal, Jason Francis Boggs. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present to you graduates who for the first time are awarded the Master of Hospitality Management. Joanne Chan. Philip Charlton. Ravi Gunawardene. June Harrison. Robin Lawrenson. Alexandra Lynn. Trung Lee Kui. Dewitt McNabb. Michael O'Day. And Sean Rooney. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates from the Faculty of Business and Hotel Management.
Chancellor, the Dean of the Faculty of Education and the Arts.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Arts in Japanese. Kylie Adams. Kirsten Boyce. Marilyn Clark. Brett Cumming. Simone Frost. Yet Han. Miwa La. Juliet Lambrick. Petri Ojala. Kelly Piper. Melissa Stone. Stephen Stothard. Jodie Suckling. Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Education. Douglas Annett. Paul Bentley. Brenda Bianchi. David Byerley. Delia Chetty. Bernadette Dempsey. Vicky Ellis. Michelle Elwood. Denise Fleming. Marianne Franks. Jacqueline Fry. Alex Georgiatis. Marie Gilhooly. Natasha Glass. Ashley Hamilton. Christine Hunt. Catherine Cashell. Rebecca Carney. Lisa Mortimer. Joanne Nairn. Robin Nathan. Louise Newell. Ulla Nimela. Michelle Smith. Adrian Smith. Stella Spear. Elizabeth Spencer. Deirdre Stein. Bronwyn White. Ross Wilson. Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Teaching. Brett Amos. Mia Bowman. Helena Brewster. Susan Cockle. Bridget Coffey. Michelle Cook. Alison Davis. Michelle Domelo. Debbie Gilbert. Michael Granata. Georgie Harrison. Jan Hassalam. Helena Henry. Jodie Hick. Jodie Hoff. Samantha Hurst. Kaylee Kent. Tabatha Keys. Katie Laurie. Paulette McGilvray. Janine Marnie. Megan Miles. Christina Nihil. Chris Nolan. Jasmine Pertzel. Rebecca Power. Rachel Smith. Tina Thomas. Bernadette Watson. Helen Welsh. Chancellor, the Medal for Achievement in the Bachelor's Degree course may be awarded annually to the graduate with the highest academic achievement in a Bachelor's Degree course. The medal is not awarded if there is no candidate of sufficient merit. Chancellor, I'm pleased to present to you graduates who have been granted medals for achievement in Bachelor's Degree courses. Education Medal, Susan Cockle. Japanese Studies Medal, Kelly Piper. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Teaching with first-class honours, Scott Ham. Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Graduate Certificate in the Teaching of English as a Second Language, Charles Barnett. Linda Carmody. Beryl McGovern. Lazar McCarter. Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Graduate Diploma of Education. Craig Bartholomew. Judith Clark. Michelle Dance. Peter Evans. Tanya Falk. Sue Huey. Marie Klein. Dwayne Knight. Jodie Kurt. Elizabeth McCall. Michelle McDermott. Melinda Powter. Yvonne Spear. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate who has been granted the Master of Education, Christopher Alderson. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates of the Faculty of Education and the Arts.
Chancellor, the Chairperson of the Academic Committee, Professor George Carney, will now present a graduate who has been granted the degree of Master of Philosophy.
Chancellor, the Master of Philosophy degree is a program of supervised research training culminating in a thesis which must demonstrate the candidate's knowledge of a particular discipline and the research topic, a capacity for clear, methodical thinking, and the ability to present the results of research in succinct and cogent form. Tonight, the University is proud to honour a graduate who has satisfied these criteria for the award of the degree. Chancellor, Susan Maisie Howard has been granted the degree of Master of Philosophy taken in the Faculty of Education and the Arts. By examining the introduction of human relationships education in Queensland state primary schools, Ms Howard has explored the nature of parent-teacher interactions in curriculum decision-making. Ms Howard showed that there were differences in perceptions by parents and teachers in planning human relationships education programs. This is a significant contribution to the understanding of parental involvement in curriculum decision-making at school level. Chancellor, I ask that Susan Maisie Howard be presented with the degree of Master of Philosophy. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will now be a brief musical interlude performed by the Queensland Conservatorium of Music's Brass Quintet.
With the authority of the Council, I shall now confer the degree of Doctor of the University. I call upon the Vice-Chancellor to make this presentation.
Chancellor, the Council of the University has resolved to award the degree of Doctor of the University to Mr. Alex Griffiths. Alex Griffith was born in Wellington, New Zealand in 1911. After managing a banana farm on Norfolk Island, his family moved to Australia in 1935 and eventually retired to a small Currumbin Beach property in the early 1940s. At this time, Alex Griffiths joined his parents to continue his profession of beekeeping and flower growing. As well as attracting passers-by who wanted to buy honey or gladioli, the bright red and yellow flowers of the property also attracted local native birds, particularly the rainbow and scaly-breasted lorikeets. The famous bird sanctuary was created by accident when Alex Griffiths devised a water and honey diet to distract the lorikeets from damaging his gladioli. I was particularly thrilled the first time the lorikeets landed on my arms and my head, he once declared. It was a wonderful experience. The colour of them got me. They had these beautiful purple heads. The birds soon realised how much easier it was to take nectar from a plate and began to feed in progressively larger numbers. People who came to buy flowers and honey were fascinated by the spectacle of Alex Griffiths hand-feeding thousands of lorikeets every day. With the erection of a humble sign, "Wild Birds Fed, 4:30 p.m, the Currumbin Bird Sanctuary, one of Australia's tourist icons, was born. As industry grew, the sanctuary began to attract interstate and even international visitors. In 1956, America's National Geographic magazine heard about the bird-feeding haven at Currumbin and sent top-ranking nature photographer and journalist Dr. Paul Zahl to Australia to investigate. The result of his visit was a 9-page article in the National Geographic. People around the world were charmed and intrigued by the story of a resplendent garden where as many as 5,000 wild lorikeets were fed on 70 kilograms of honey. Over a 30-year period, the sanctuary flourished under Alex Griffith's inspired direction, expanding in size from a half hectare to 24 hectares. During this time, the number of visitors increased to an estimated 600,000 per year. Until 1974, no admission fees were charged, and the bird refuge survived on money raised within the sanctuary itself. Alex Griffiths refused offers from land developers to subdivide or sell his property and strenuously opposed developments which threatened the sanctuary's wild bird feeding program. From the start of this unique venture, he has dedicated himself to upholding a wildlife philosophy which advocates freedom and open space for birds. As one who has loved and lived with birds for decades, he has always believed that any creature capable of accepting its freedom should not be caged. In order to preserve the sanctuary as a haven and refuge for native wildlife, Alex Griffiths donated his entire estate to the people of Australia in 1976, leaving it in the hands of the National Trust. He continues to live on the grounds of the sanctuary and is committed to maintaining the bird refuge according to his original philosophies and aims. He has fought hard to ensure that all profits are returned to the sanctuary and that the surrounding district is kept open and free from any development which might damage its viability. More recently, he has donated a 10-acre property adjoining the Nickel National Park to the Wildlife Preservation Society of Queensland. This donation culminates a lifetime of striving to amalgamate Coolamon with the Nickel rainforest to preserve the whole area in perpetuity. Today, as in the past, Alex Griffith is devoted to the welfare of his beloved birds and to the conservation of the environment. Now in existence for more than 50 years, the Currumbin Sanctuary is a great tribute to the dedication and enthusiasm of one man. Recognised as one of the leading zoological institutions in the world with significant research potential, the sanctuary is Alex Griffith's magnificent contribution to the preservation of native Australian wildlife. It is especially fitting that the Council of Griffith University should honour Alex Griffiths in recognition of his distinguished services to the environment and the community. Chancellor, it is with great pleasure that I present to you Alex Griffiths for admission to the degree of Doctor of the University.
I now call on the Vice-Chancellor to introduce the guest speaker.
Chancellor, it is my privilege and pleasure now to introduce our guest of honour this afternoon, Mr Frank Burnett, Chairman of the Queensland Tourist and Travel Corporation. Mr Burnett has enjoyed a long and distinguished career in the management ranks of Queensland industry, but I'm delighted that he's been able to accept our invitation to speak this afternoon. Frank Burnett was born and educated in Queensland, taking his secondary education at St Joseph's College, Gregory Terrace. His diploma of chemistry was earned at the Queensland University of Technology, and he later pursued further studies at the Australian Staff College at Mount Eliza and the Stanford University School of Business in California, USA. Mr Burnett has achieved an outstanding career in industry and management. While his work has always been linked to the brewing industry, his managerial and board experience has encompassed a wide range of activities. In 1979, he was appointed General Manager of Castlemaine Perkins. By 1980, he had been promoted to Managing Director, a position he held until 1993. Today, Mr Burnett maintains his connection with Castlemaine Perkins Limited as the non-executive chairman. As part of his commitment to the general welfare of Queensland industry, Mr Burnett has been a leading member of a number of professional bodies. He has served as President of the Institute of Industrial Engineers, as Chairman of the Productivity Advisory Council of Queensland, and as an active member of its Federal Council. Today, he is a Fellow of the Australian Institute of Management, a Fellow of the Institute of Company Directors in Australia, and a life member of the Institute of Brewing. In 1993, Mr Burnett was appointed a Director of both Nautilus Australia and the Queensland Crushers Rugby League Football Club. The following year, he was appointed to his present position as Chairman of the Queensland Tourist and Travel Corporation. It is with great pleasure that I welcome Mr Burnett this afternoon, and I now invite him to deliver his occasional address. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Webb. The Chancellor and Chief Justice, the Honourable John McCrossan, Professor Webb, Professor Irving, new graduates, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, allow me to thank you for being a part of this very special day for you. Your graduation day is one which you'll remember all your lives. It is a day which marks the end of what will have been both an enjoyable and challenging period. It is a day which also, of course, marks the beginning of your new careers. Careers which I have a great confidence will bring you even greater challenges and rewards. Now, today there are students from both the faculties of both business and education. Before I move on to speaking to those of you who are starting careers in tourism and industry and hospitality, I would like to say a few words to the education graduates. Now, whilst teaching is not my field of expertise or a profession about which I know much more than most people, it is one about which I feel very, very strongly. In choosing a career in education, you've taken on probably one of the greatest responsibilities in modern society. In your hands will largely rest the future of our state, our country, and indeed our nation. It is a marvellous and wonderful challenge, and I have great faith that the training you have received here has equipped you with all the necessary skills and more. What you need to add is your own love of education, your own recognition of the vital role you will play in the lives of your students, and an attitude that will allow you to work in what must be not only one of the most rewarding fields, but certainly one of the most difficult. My very best wishes to you. For those of you who have chosen the tourism and hospitality industries, all I can say is a great choice. I find it a great joy to see how well armed you are and you have all emerged from this particular period of years of study. Your academic qualifications will enhance the enthusiasm and the commitment to service which you will need to be a success. You have certainly picked a progressive industry. In the past 20 years, hospitality has experienced something of a revolution. Once, hospitality jobs were considered time fillers, or perhaps jobs you took while you were looking for the real career. I think I can fairly say that there would not have been too many parents 20 or so years ago who would have proudly boasted of a son or daughter in the hospitality industry. In those days, the words career and hospitality were almost seen as mutually exclusive, but now that has all changed. Today, you'll only be praised for your foresight. The skills you have learned during your studies are portable. They can take you anywhere in the world. You'll be limited only by your determination and imagination. They are adaptable skills which make you suitable for a wide variety of positions and organisations. The hospitality industry offers rapid advancement. It is a young industry, staffed by people with commitment and drive, and it offers great opportunities for those of you who wish to work hard. Hospitality and its sister industry, tourism, are recognised as two of Australia's fastest growing industries and the ones with the greatest potential for establishing a long-term and rewarding career structure. Employment projections vary, but tourism and hospitality can expect jobs growth of between 15 and 30% over the next few years. Figures, of course, which would have many other industries green with envy. The importance of tourism and hospitality industries cannot be ignored. Tourism is presently Queensland's third largest industry and is expected to be the number one income earner for the state by the year 2000. Continued strong growth visitation will keep fueling that development and make our hospitality standards even more important. For every visitor, there are dozens and dozens of us who can turn that visit either into a positive or a negative experience. And for every positive experience, the word will spread and more people will come and spend their money in Queensland. The responsibility for ensuring the future health of Queensland's tourist industries lies with every Queenslander, but more particularly with you young graduates who will be at the coalface in the future. At this point, I think it appropriate to mention Mr. Alec Griffiths, who you today awarded with an honorary doctorate. You graduates could do worse than look at him as a fine example of someone with foresight, vision, and the courage to take a chance. In establishing Currumbin Bird Sanctuary, Mr. Griffiths provided Queensland with one of its premier tourist attractions, a place which has brought joy, wonder, and happy memories to millions of people, including, I'm very pleased to say, include myself and my family. It has also played a very major role in the success of tourism on the Gold Coast. Attractions such as Currumbin Sanctuary brought people to the coast, and when they got there, they needed hotels, they needed places to eat, they needed places to take the kids. So many other businesses were born, and many, many more people were employed. It is a fine achievement, and one which is deservedly recognised today. Mr. Griffiths will tell you that international tourists bring with them a high service expectation and a complex and changing set of desires that must be fulfilled. International tourists are becoming more sophisticated. While they are keen to experience the real Australia, they are not prepared to put up with less than adequate service standards wherever they are. And domestic tourists will no longer put up with second-rate service standards and facilities. As the world has gotten smaller, Australians have travelled more and more, and they've discovered that you don't have to take a surly hotel waiter or dirigent. hotel manager, and nor should we. Our motto should read quality, service and price. If we get the first two right, quality and service, price will look after itself. We have come a long way in the last few years. We have learnt from the rest of the world and added our own particular flavour. The result is a world-class service standard with an Australian twist. We have combined the best overseas service traditions with our natural friendliness and relaxed approach to life. And I think you graduates are the best examples of that. For the past 2 years, this university's Bachelor of Hotel Management program has won the Industry Training Award at the Queensland Tourism Awards. And that is no easy feat. There are now quite a number of very good courses around in Queensland. You should all feel very privileged to have graduated from one of the best. Your lecturers will have no doubt told you that in their day, students went overseas if they wanted the best hospitality education. Today, overseas students are coming here, which is a great achievement. The courses are turning out people who recognise the importance of good service and are capable of delivering it. And that is a very, very valuable commodity for not only overseas visitors, but all Australians have now come to expect the best. I remember the days when service, or good service, was limited to a couple of fancy hotels in Sydney and Melbourne. Now I find all over the country, from five-star resorts to outback motels and farm stay operations. I find service in the pubs, the suburban restaurant and the coffee shops that dot our city. And all that is a result of good training. It is a professional approach. So you must approach your careers with professionalism. Over the years, things will change, and you will have to be equipped to expect, prepare, and deal with that change. It will take dedication, motivation, and education on your part. You are just as much a professional as a doctor, a lawyer, or a management executive. And therefore, you need to put as much into your job and into your professional development. I wish you all the very best, and I look forward to the positive impact you will make. Thank you.
Chancellor, Mr Burnett has spoken to us really about the tale of two professions, I think. The tale of the profession that is growing in Australia so rapidly and about which such spectacular forecasts can be made in terms of its further growth and expansion, and of the need to accompany that growth with truly professional behaviour, not only on the part of professionals in the industry, but on the part of all citizens of this state. And the other profession, of course, has been long established as a profession. Education is a profession going back centuries in most cultures in terms of its importance and status. While we can all heartily endorse everything that Mr Burnett has said about tourism, I think we must also work as a community to ensure that education returns to the status that it once held in our society, but from which in recent times it has somewhat declined. We must return to being a society where the status of teachers returns to that status which would cause it to be mentioned along with doctors and lawyers when we talk about the arrival of new professions. And then, of course, with tourism and education both flourishing as a profession, Griffith will flourish and so will Australia. Thank you very much, and may we now join together in thanking Mr Burnett for his address. I'd like to add my congratulations to our graduates on their success and wish them further success in their illustrious careers, and as Professor Irving has said, Please join the Alumni Association. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the traditional student song Gadiama Sigatur. You're invited to join in the singing of the song, whose words appear on page 22 of your program. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is now concluded. When the fanfares begin, please remain standing as the dais party, the staff procession and the graduates retire. Thank you.
Legal.